Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie, and one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
George Clooney and Brad Pitt's new movie Wolves is on Apple TV Plus September 27th.
That's where I want you to be now.
So if you want to see George Clooney and Brad Pitt, go to Apple TV Plus.
You got to start the story there.
Or if you want to see Brad Pitt and George Clooney, go to Apple TV Plus.
I am enjoying the show.
And if you want to see their new movie Wolves,
You can't do it, I'm going to help you out. I can do it, so do it.
definitely go to Apple TV Plus.
Admit it, it's cool. Okay, fine, it was very cool.
Wolves, streaming September 27th on Apple TV Plus. Rated R.
You never arrange in advance for permission to shoot there?
If the client is ready to pay, we do so, but she was not ready to pay, so I didn't go into making.
So what do? You just show up and say, "Hey, we're taking
in
pictures"?
the lobby. Yes, if we have
they
to
don't
shoot
care?
in the lobby, and we do it outdoor. They don't care. I've never been stopped before, and as you can tell, we were never stopped. They allowed us to shoot.
This is the plaintiff, Mandy. She says she was hired to photograph the defendant's engagement and wedding, and the woman's trying to cancel their agreement and is stiffing her. She photographed the engagement, rushed through editing them because the defendant wanted to send out save-the-date cards, and now she won't pay her for her work. That's not fair, nor professional, so she's suing for the $1,800 she's now out. This is the defendant, Christy. She says the plaintiff was very unprofessional. She never photographed her wedding, and she can't believe this woman's suing her. She did take pictures of her engagement, but they were such a hassle to get from the plaintiff, she decided not to use her for her wedding. And she owes her nothing but a curt goodbye. She's accused of stiffing a photographer.
All parties, please use your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
The People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian is now presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Mandy, you are suing on behalf of Mandio Photography, Ms. Christie, and her husband. You have power of attorney for both of you here today?
Yes.
For $1,800 that you say is due to you because they breached the contract. Tell me what happened.
The defendant's planner, who
Wedding planner.
Okay. Contacted me to take photos for her wedding day, and they chose a package which included pre-wedding photos, the wedding coverage, and an album. And this was last year, April. So they asked me for my packages. I presented it to the planner, and she chose one of my packages, which was going for $3,500. And she asked me if I could bring it down to below $3,000 because they had found someone cheaper. But I told her that with everything, and it includes a second shooter, it comes with, everything, looking at it being fair. And because I know her, I can do it for $3,000. So I agreed to do this. They agreed to it. Everything went well.
They signed a contract.
They signed the contract.
Okay.
They made the initial payment.
Do you have the contract?
Yes, I do.
Do you also have, like a list of prices on the internet or anything like that?
It's not on the internet, but I give it to the clients whenever that's the package. I give it to my clients whenever they need them.
But what, like, for example, if I just wanted to take photos and has nothing to do with a wedding, do you do it as well?
I do it.
Okay. Do you have that list?
No, that I always quote for them. I have chats with different clients that you see my different.
So you don't have that?
No, when they call me dependent, because it could be a pre-wedding shoot, it could be a birthday shoot, it could be a maternity session, it could be a family.
So what do you
session.
charge for a birthday shoot?
Birthdays depends. If it's kids, it's a little higher. It's $3.50 an hour. If it's an older person, single person, it's $2.50 an hour.
Okay.
And when I'm doing family and pre-wedding shoots, that's $4.50 an hour.
So let's talk about what happens in this case. You have a signed, sealed, delivered contract, and then you do the engagement photos.
Yes, if they want to, not everyone
Well, they wanted
does
it,
engagement.
and so you do them in this case.
Yes.
And what day were they done?
Last year, April, that's when she booked me. We did the pre-wedding engagement photos in September, and she told me she didn't want them till April.
She didn't need them till April?
Yes.
And when's her wedding?
Her wedding, July 2022.
All right, so then at some point, though, in October, she tells you, I'd like them for the save the dates.
Yes.
All right, so in October, you're aware that she needs them for the save the dates. And then what happens? And she tells you, according to you, that she wants them for December.
Yes, I have the chat. She told me,
and
she
so
apologized.
did you have them for December?
Yes, I did.
Okay, was there some problem communicating with you or something?
No, I didn't know of any problem communicating with me. I traveled to Ghana for vacation with my family. So when I got to Ghana, I was trying to send her WhatsApp messages because here in the US, I was doing regular text. But I changed my SIM card to a Ghanaian SIM card. So I was trying to contact her via WhatsApp. I couldn't find her on WhatsApp. So luckily for me, the day after I had arrived, the wedding planner had contacted me wishing me a happy birthday because it was my birthday. And I made her aware that I'm in Ghana, I'm working on Christy's pictures. She wants them in December. I'm going to be delivering in December. But when I did everything,
The save the dates were going out when? January?
In January.
Okay, go on.
And it wasn't all the pictures. See, I had asked her, you want some for your save the date?
Who did you talk to about the save the date pictures?
I spoke to, she told me about it, but
How many did she say she wanted?
She didn't mention. And in my email, I
Let's
asked
see
her, you
what
want
the
some?
Okay,
in
hold
my
on one
text message,
second.
I want, when do you want some by? I didn't say everything.
She asks on October 28th when the engagement pictures will be available. When do you need some by? You told me you weren't in a hurry for them till next April, so I've been editing other jobs. Let me know when I can get you some. Yes, I won't post on social media until April. Sorry if I was unclear, but I wanted to have them by December so I can send out my save the dates in January. Okay? So what happens? You end up sending some of them. Why don't you send all of them?
So I sent some because...
How many are some?
That's the thing. I wanted to know how many she wanted because they needed some for save the date. So that's why I was trying to
Well,
get
what she wants is all of them, and then she wants to pick the one she doesn't want you to... She wants
didn't
all of them, but in any
specify
event,
to
how
me.
many are all of them?
I have 25 photos.
25 photos. How many did you send?
20.
Okay.
Per the wedding planner Wemi's instruction. And I delivered 20 on the 29th of December.
Okay. And then do you get any response from her at that time?
I spoke to Wemi and she said, oh, I asked how many pictures she wanted. That's when she mentioned 20. And I asked her, I've been trying to reach her. And she said, oh, she's also been trying to reach you. She changed her phone number. I'm like, that's why I couldn't find her on WhatsApp.
Now, when you changed your phone number, did you give her your new phone number?
I had reached out to her, I think probably a day after I changed my phone number, and a week after I did not hear from the first time that I reached out again probably another week or so to let her know, like, hey, this is Christy.
Do you happen to have those texts?
Yes.
Okay. So were you a little frustrated because you couldn't reach her in December?
Yeah, so I was frustrated, and that's when I had reached out to my wedding planner.
Your wedding planner is someone you work for, right?
Yes.
In that business?
Yes.
Okay.
But we're also, we were friends first. That's how we all met, because I was helping her out in a wedding in 2019, and we met Mandy.
And you loved Mandy's work.
Yes.
In fact, you said, if I ever get married, I want her to be my photographer.
Exactly.
And then you hired her. So why are you so mad, and why'd you fire her?
My issues actually began at the engagement shoot, and we both agreed that I would pick her up and then we would go to the shoot. When we headed out to the hotel, she had to kind of negotiate with the hotel personnel, like if we can shoot there. So to me, that was kind of upsetting, because I'm like, as a photographer, you should have already, especially during COVID, you should have already called ahead to make sure that we can shoot at these locations.
What made you think that she was negotiating whether she could shoot there?
Oh, because she told us, like, oh, hey, like, I'm gonna go and like talk to them and see if it's okay. Typically, like,
Had you not arranged for that beforehand?
No, I just go to the hotels and we shoot.
You never arrange in advance for permission to shoot there?
If the client is ready to pay, we do so. But she was not ready to pay, so I didn't go into making.
So what do? You just show up and say, hey, we're taking pictures?
In the lobby, yes. If we have to shoot in the lobby, and we do it outdoor, they don't care. I've never been stopped before, and as you can tell, we were never stopped. They allowed us to shoot.
Was there a problem?
There was no problem during the shoot. I reached out to her in October.
Beautiful.
So we reached out in October. We mentioned, okay, December, great. I changed my number. in December. I reached out to her as I show you the text on the left side. I sent her 2 text messages. I didn't hear back. I was talking with my wedding planner. I'm like, this is a little bit odd. My wedding planner at the time, she told me to just like wait it out. But as December was passing and I didn't hear anything, that's when my wedding planner was like, okay, let me just reach out to her and see if I will get a response.
Okay, so you were reaching out to the same number that your wedding planner reached out to?
Yeah, so the only difference is I reached out on iMessages, so text messages, and my wedding planner reached out on WhatsApp.
Right.
I rarely use...
So the wedding plan, I get it, but that's why the wedding planner was able to get her.
Yes.
It's not that she was insulting you, it's that she wasn't getting your texts.
Yes.
Because she's in Ghana and they're, you know, when it's Christmas, it's the holidays and all that's going on. All right, the pictures are beautiful.
Yes, there is no issues on the pictures. When the wedding planner gave her my new number, I still didn't hear back from her immediately. I only heard back, I think, a few days later once she was ready to send me the pictures, which to me at the time was just frustrating because if you knew that the bride was waiting to hear from you, why not?
You should call back right away.
Yeah, like if it was... I think the whole situation would have changed.
How long did you take to reach her once you knew she was agitated and trying to reach you?
I was told she was trying to reach me, I believe, let me see, per the text, I believe it was December 25th or 24th, and I reached out to her 29th because the planner told me she's going to let her know. I'm like, thank you. The planner has been in communication with me
in
the
any
whole
event,
time.
I also see the text that happened after that, and at one point you say, I wanted all the pictures, and then she says, I'll get you all the pictures as soon as I get back. When did you get back to America?
I got back to America in February.
That means she'd have the pictures in April, but she wouldn't have them to choose from for the save the date.
She had told me she
Did she ever get the other pictures?
Yes, she did.
How many more were there?
5 photos, making 25.
I'm sorry, I never got any.
You did.
I did.
Wait, and why don't you prove to me you sent them?
I sent them, it's a gallery, so I updated them. And if this is, we even show it.
Stop. Did you give me the gallery?
Yes, please.
And is that up now still?
Yes, it is.
Okay, yeah, I am looking at 25 photos. But the question is, when did you give those?
I gave it to them as soon as I arrived, and I messaged her.
Do you deny that she sent you 20 pictures in December?
No, she did send me 20 in December. I just did not get the extra 5.
Okay, so we're talking about 5 pictures. Here's what I don't understand.
You can
in
see
December, no, stop. In December, I see you in the text saying to her, all right, it's water under the bridge. So let's get them right here. You say to her, it's all in the past now.
So she never showed.
Just a minute. And your next text to her is a month later saying, hi, Mandy, the groom and I have decided to cancel our contract with you. What happened between it's in the past now and the groom and I have decided to cancel our contract?
Yeah, so basically for me, it was just rethinking everything that happened. And I felt like she was unprofessional. So I was thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, if it took so long just to get engagement photos, how much more a whole wedding, you know? So that's when I decided to reach out in January.
Okay, but is it accurate that you had originally, when you had the photo shoot in September, the plan was that those pictures would be ready in April?
No, she misunderstood.
Well, actually, you say, I'm sorry if I was unclear. I'm going to do my social media in April, but I'd like them for December. And you told her with plenty of time. You told her in October. I don't think that's that big a deal. So now it's in October, and you don't say when in December, and you're sending her save the dates in January, and she's working on it. They look great. And then next thing you know, you fire her. So that's fine. It is your special day. And if you want someone else, you go, girl, you do you. But now you put me in the position where I have to decide, number one, clearly you breached, because she didn't breach. She didn't breach. I'm looking at this, and the fact that 5 of the pictures you didn't get beforehand, I mean, if these were all garbage pictures, I understand they're phenomenal. If you decide you want to change, it's your special day. If you decide, that's fine, but it costs you. So now we have to figure out what it costs you. Some of these contracts say it costs you the balance so that people don't cancel. Hers doesn't, interestingly. Hers says something super specific. It says the $500 deposit you lose, and then you pay me what I'm into this, like my costs, what I've incurred. Mm-hmm. Now, here's where the breakdown happens. Did Wemi try to talk you out of firing her?
No.
Did you already get married?
No.
Well, it's coming up?
So, sorry, you're talking about
yes,
now.
You're
yes, I got married in July. Yeah.
All right.
No, I thought you meant like.
How did the pictures come out?
Yeah. Oh, my wedding pictures?
Yes.
Oh, they came out great.
Great. Was that photographer cheaper?
No, it was the same.
Right. Okay, so according to you, what are you out, Ms. Mandy?
Okay, so I was asking them for, usually now it's no longer a package or a contract, it's an a la carte service, and it's $450 per an hour for pre-wedding photos. We shot over 2 hours, but I clearly told her I'm gonna cap it to 2 hours, making it $900. Then for my administrative...
I see in one of the texts that you say we shot for over an hour.
That was for Wemi, and it was probably a typo, but her in her email, when I broke it down to her, I told her...
Oh, I know that once she fired you, it was 2 hours. I'm just saying that before everything hits the fan we shot for over an hour.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
Did Wemi try to solve things when everything hit the fan?
No, she didn't.
All right, go on.
So even if over an hour, it goes into 2 hours.
All right, so I'll decide what the 2 hours are worth, and then what's administrative fees? $300.
My phone bills.
What phone bills? Show me the phone bills.
Me and her.
No, yeah, show me the phone bills. Because,
oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. There's no real phone bills. Or,
All
you
right.
know. All right, go on.
Data.
What? Show me what you paid for data that wouldn't be included in a charge of 2 hours for photo shoot.
Okay.
All right, go on.
My business subscription for Photoshop and Lightroom.
Right, except that's also something that you take into account and you don't charge separately for at every photo shoot. If I had a birthday shoot, you wouldn't say, oh, you've got to pay your portion of the subscription. You wouldn't do that.
Okay.
All right, go on.
The storage.
Same thing. Go on.
Then for the second shooter, I had put the...
For the second what?
Shooter, the person who was going to shoot.
Oh, because you're out $250 for the assistant.
The second assistant, yes.
And that person did not return the money?
No.
Even though it was 5 months in advance?
No, and it wouldn't be fair to him also because he works for other people,
right?
You know, and he put the date down.
So what is it that you think is fair? Because you have to understand that you breached the contract, so you're going to have to pay, as the contract you signed says. The 500's gone. The 500 doesn't cover anything. You realize that the 500 can't go to covering the engagement, right?
I will say that I wasn't aware that there was a time restraint on my part. I think.
What do you mean a time restraint?
Like I didn't know that we were getting charged for
Well, you weren't because at the time it was a package. The thing that converted it into a time factor is you when you breached the contract by firing her.
Okay.
Because even if it's 5 months before, it's still a breach of contract. A contract is a sacred thing that I'm here to enforce. Okay? All right. Taking a look at this, I find that I did get a statement from the person who says that, you know, there was $250. And I'm going to award her $600 for the photo shoot, not $900. And that means that there's an additional $850 that you owe her for breaching. And I'm ruling in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of that $850. Good luck, folks.
Thank you very much.
So after a thorough examination of all the details, the plaintiff is going to get $850 back, not $1,800 that she was hoping to get. Let's see what the defendant has to say now. Christy, you heard the judge, $850 you owe the plaintiff.
Yes.
I mean, you agreed the pictures were great that she took of you, wouldn't you?
Yeah, the issue wasn't the pictures. The issue was the professionalism, and she's just simply not professional. But I'm glad that this is all over with and we can move on with our lives.
That's the judge's decision. You owe her some money, so thank you very much. So let's talk to the plaintiff now. Her name is Mandy. She's on her way out of the courtroom. Mandy, you heard the judge. You're going to get $850, not $1,800. How do you feel about it?
I'll take it. It's better to have something than nothing at all. And yes, I just feel she keeps saying I was unprofessional. How was I unprofessional? I kept communication open. I apologized. You know, she said everything was under the bridge. So I did everything I had to do on my part. So they just could not afford me, and they wanted to go for someone cheaper. Fair enough.
All right, very good. Well, it's the way it is. That's the way the cookie crumbles, as they say. But you get $850, and I'm sorry you didn't get everything you wanted, but you did prevail.
So, Doug, we've talked about this before, that if you cancel a contract, if you want to be scot-free once you do it, you have to have a basis, a legal basis for doing so, something in the contract that allows you to cancel. Now, if you want to just cancel because you just don't want it anymore, even if you don't have grounds, the reality is, in most cases, you can do just that. You can cancel the contract. The only issue is that you have to be ready to pay for damages.
I have a brand new fence. My neighbors, who speak very broken English, put screws in their side of my fence. The screws cracked some of the boards and they scratched my dog's face. These screws are holding a cheap aluminum siding material on a garden fence all along the fence line. Are they responsible for the damage to my fence? I haven't said anything to them because of the language barrier.
Okay.
What do you think? Maybe they should resolve the language barrier first?
Yeah, maybe the language barrier isn't an issue, right, because you could always say something in writing and assume that they're getting it interpreted. So, but it depends on a lot of things that aren't in the question. For example, when you say, I erected a fence, it's my fence. Is it? Is it on your property or is it on the property line?
That's very important to know.
Yeah, which makes it both of your fences.
Right.
Typically speaking, if someone does something that damages your property, you absolutely have recourse against them.
Right. If I put screws in the fence on my side and they stick out 3 inches on your side,
you don't get to do that.
Right.
So, but the issue will also be: did you put your fence on their property or on their property, on the property line, and it's joint by virtue of you having done that?
And these kind of disputes sometimes reveal that a fence is encroaching way far onto one guy's property, and it's like,
and no one knew.
Nobody knew, and it's like, oh, it's taking up 15 feet of my yard or something.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, there's a new dispute over that. You end up getting a survey, and you say, you move it back. You're stealing my property.
So if I were you, I would A, get a survey, and B, send a certified letter. And you don't need to worry so much about whether you are being understood. You just need to worry about whether you said something and then whether they act.
Right.
This is the plaintiff, Tashana. She says she runs a daycare facility, and the defendant's 2 kids attended for about 3 months, but were then abruptly pulled out. Her handbook states she's supposed to get 2 weeks' notice. She got a 1 day's notice and is owed $1,890. So she's suing for it. This is the defendant, David Travis. He says one of the teachers there pushed his child to the ground and then let the other kids trample him. This teacher continued to be mean to his son, so he pulled his kids out of this abusive situation and refuses to pay this woman another penny. He's accused of pulling out at the last minute.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says that the defendant prematurely pulled his kids out of her daycare facility, and she wants to be paid. Now, the defendant is saying that one of the teachers pushed the kids, roughed them up, and he doesn't owe zip. It's the case of pulling out prematurely.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Ms. Tashana, you and your daycare center are suing Mr. Travis and Mrs. Travis for 2 weeks tuition pay because they didn't give you notice when they left. Tell me what happened here.
Yes. Hi, Your Honor.
Hi.
I'm a registered nurse. I just love children, so I started a child care, facility on April 12th, 15th, and the 18th. Mrs. Travis contacted me a few times via email to discuss, possibly like enrolling their 2 children.
Is that in what year? Was that this year?
Yes.
And so how long I know the children were enrolled. How long were they enrolled for?
They started April 25th and they unenrolled them May 20th.
Okay, so just a month. And so when she tells you that she wants to pull them out, does she say why?
I quote, she said that they just got accepted into the YMCA on a scholarship today. So today will be their last day. She said thank you for all your tender love and care you've shown to them while they were here. All your staff is amazing. It's just a really hardship for our family. It was a long message. I provided a copy as well.
Let me ask you, Mr. Travis, why was it you pulled the children out?
We pulled them out because my son kept crying, saying he didn't want to go to the mean school. He kept saying that he was being pushed and saying that the teacher was very mean to him. He said the teacher knocked him over and let the kids trample him over, like they were in a line walking. And that's, he keeps referring to.
How old is your son?
He's 4 years old now.
4 years old. So was there ever a meeting between you and the teacher and the boy to find out the truth of the matter?
Yes, I did go to the school after a couple complaints from my son about the teacher's behavior towards him. And that's when I confronted the teacher. I didn't actually know it was the teacher that was standing in front of me, but I did hear her side, which she pretty much didn't recollect any of that going on. And,
well, she said it didn't happen, right?
Yeah, she doesn't recall it.
How did your son react when she said that?
He was just trying to avoid the situation. I think he was very nervous, so he was laughing a lot, and he was like running around me and hiding behind me a couple times.
Did you draw conclusions from that behavior that maybe he was fibbing?
I do believe that sometimes kids at their age can over-exaggerate. So I was taking into consideration that he could have been over-exaggerating, but it was just so many times that he had told us the situation and different situations that had happened that it was just concerning.
When did you have this conversation with the teacher?
It was on May 18th.
May 18th. By the way, did you get a scholarship to the YMCA daycare?
No, we did not. That was just my wife's nice way of saying that we wanted to try to pull him out. We didn't want any confrontation. We just wanted to pull him out.
But you wanted to pull him out, why? Because of the behavior of other children there, or because of the behavior of teachers there?
Behavior of the teachers. And
what had the teacher, tell me specifically what the teacher did.
She had pushed him over and let the kids trample him.
Okay, that's what your 4-year-old said. But then when you asked the teacher about it, your 4-year-old started to giggle and hide. So I don't think you or I believe that actually happened. So I understand taking the kids out because he's not comfortable there. But, whether or not did you know that there was a 2-week cancellation clause?
No, we did not.
Did you read the handbook?
I read what we had signed. I didn't read the entire handbook. No, but what you signed actually said that you read the handbook, and specifically what you signed actually also says about the 2 weeks, doesn't it? Do you have them sign the handbook?
Yes, I have. Oh, you page do. 16 is to acknowledge that they've read the handbook, and she also sent an email on April 18th at 5:10 saying, after I sent her everything, saying, excellent, thank you. I love everything I'm reading in the parent handbook, and I will get everything filled out to you as soon as possible.
If you choose to withdraw your scholar from our program for any reason after the 2-week trial period, we require 2 weeks' notice in writing before their last day. If you terminate care without giving appropriate notice, you'll still be responsible for any outstanding balances of tuition, as well as the final 2 weeks, regardless of whether you attend or not. I have read and fully understand all the terms of the parent handbook provided by the daycare, and we agree to abide by all policies stated in the handbook. Like, why sign this? I mean, the idea behind signing this is that you can't then later wiggle and say you didn't know. And here it is again. In the tuition agreement which you signed, 2 weeks' notice is required for permanent changes in schedule. Parents agree to pay tuition according to the schedule via Brightwheel. I mean, you sign in several places, and in several places you're saying you read the handbook. That's one of the policies in the handbook. And according to you, she wrote you a text saying, I'm loving everything I read. Right.
Yes.
In order for you to not pay those 2 weeks, Mr. Travis, I would have to find that you terminated them for cause, you see? Meaning the teacher really did push him and not he said so. So I would typically in a situation like this, you would have called the police, you would have filed a complaint with the government. I would see texts and emails back and forth where you're saying, this is unforgivable. There are scars. My child came home with bruises on his arm from the push, something. I would see something backing this up. What I see is your 4-year-old saying something, then giggling and hiding behind you when you talk to the teacher. I think you guys didn't care about it. And you have this whole story. Where's your kid being taken care of? Right when your children left this place, where did they go?
To a different daycare.
A YMCA?
No, not a YMCA.
Okay. I'm going to read to you the emails. Hi, we all just got the wonderful news that Gianni and his sister were accepted for scholarship at the YMCA. So please celebrate them today, as today will be their last day with you guys at your daycare. I wanted to thank all the teachers for your tender love and care while the children were in your center. And this is just what's best for our family at this time. Okay, but then she was texting you personally when she realizes the 2 weeks. I don't think they knew about the 2 weeks.
Yes.
I think that's really what's happening here, that they just didn't really read what they signed. She finds out that she was charged for the 2 weeks and sends you a text. This is going to absolutely destroy my family's finances and my bank account. Wow, how disheartening that you would even try to blackmail me. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so she said, you told me this wasn't going to happen. My account is negative $500. I just want to pay a bill. I'm going to receive overdrafts over everything that is pending. So she said, this is going to absolutely destroy my family's finances and my bank account. Now the payment for the YMCA is not going to go through. So I sent her a screenshot from me stating that they have zero balance. What happened was, since the 20th, that was their time to normally pay anyway. So it automatically comes out. Now, it came out already in the morning before she even told me that they weren't, that she was withdrawing them. So I just sent her a thing, and I told her that I would cancel any future payments because I already had
but not
checked.
the 2 weeks you're entitled to. So
Yeah,
you
not
tell
the
her
2
in the
weeks. So
handbook
she
you sign, the terms of cancellation are in there. A family must give 2 weeks notice. Whether they attend or not, you got to pay the 2 weeks. You weren't charged after that. And when a family enrolls, it is expected that they read the entire handbook. And she says what to that?
And then, right, so then she said, I need this to be reimbursed immediately. She said, I paid you 4 days, so 4 days ago for what? Does that make sense? And then I explained to her, so now I'm like, okay, did she just not understand? Maybe because I explained this to them in the beginning as well. I explained it to everyone.
You actually explained it in person as well?
I explained it in person. I explained that even when we're closed, you have to pay because it's not upon attendance. It's based upon enrollment. So now when she says this, I was like taken aback. Basically, she threatened me. She said, if you don't give me back the money, then I'm going to make a report about the abuse. And then she says, I pulled them out because of multiple accusations of my child made against your teacher abusing him. Should I move forward with the report? Again, I don't know what she's talking about. Your business and staff and the staff member, you're going to refund me.
And then you respond, wow, how disheartening after everything you said about how wonderful we all are that you would attempt to blackmail me. Now,
correct.
Okay. Did he ever and she ever bring up a problem to your attention, or did you hear about this? Like, what's your answer to that? I wanted to hear your side.
Yes, so on about May 16th through the 18th, Travis, actually came into the facility in the morning, pointing at the teacher, yelling, "Are you abusing my son?" And so the teacher, she had called me like right afterwards because she opens. This is early in the morning, about 7:30. She's the only one here. "Are you abusing my son?" So she says, "Excuse me," like, "Of course not." So they go on, but she said, as a parent, because she's a grandparent, as a parent, she could see where, she doesn't mind him asking, but he came in accusing her. So she said she stayed calm. She said absolutely not. She would never do that, which didn't happen. So it turns out the son started laughing. He said, "Oh," and then Mr. Travis said, "See, I could tell he's lying right there because he's laughing. I guess because he knew his son." So that was that. So I asked them to meet with them in the afternoon. And I said, "Well, what's happened? Tell me about today. What's going on?" He said, he said that his son, the teacher, pushed him down and let the other kids jump all over him. So I said, okay. So I let him, finish his story. And then I said, okay, well, the only thing I could think that he's taken out of context is that when we go on walks, they have the little strap that they hold on to or that ties around the waist, and there's like 12 of them, So I said, the only thing I can think of is that because some of them are really bow-legged or they walk funny and they will trip. And, you know, it's kind of like a domino effect. I said, that's the only thing that I can think of. But I said, if you think for 1 second that we don't have any doors here. So if you think 5 other staff would just watch an adult throw your child down and let other people trample, I said, then this is really not the place for you. Like, I would never want you to have your kid here if you felt that way, like, honestly. But you continue to bring your son here.
Wait, so this is a conversation you're having with him?
Yes.
And what did he say?
He said, you know, they're kids. You know, he said he just wanted to just bring it to our attention. But meanwhile, he never said that he came in the way he did, very aggressively to my staff either. So he kind of told a different story as well. I got a different version of it when I spoke to him and his wife outside by the vehicle. So long story short. Because they were what?
They were much more chill about it?
Yeah, they was like, no, we just wanted to bring it to your attention because it's just, he said something else and he said that the teacher said like this. And I was like, okay, you know, I'll talk to the teacher, but I said,
okay,
I got it.
Tell me why you're suing for the $1,100 would be the 2 weeks tuition. What's the $40 inconvenience fee?
In the handbook, there's a $40. I charge $40 for any return fee. So if you have a problem with the bank or you need to return.
Was there? Did they reverse the charge?
They did. I sent the screenshot. They reversed the charge and they charged me extra. They charged me like $60 extra.
Who did? The credit card company?
Brightwell.
Okay, but you're suing for $40.
Yeah, technically it's like $40 on each. You know, because it's two different.
What's the $750 that you're suing for?
Because I had to actually have coverage that day and I had to take off work. So I just did the math on if, you know, like X amount of children times the hours that I would have been here.
Okay, you're not going to get lost wages, but based on what I've heard and read and seen, you know, I don't know how you can get out of this contract and say that it's because of abuse when it doesn't sound like you think there was abuse. And, you know, I hear what you're saying. Oh, we were just trying to be nice, but you messed up if that's true, then you messed up your case. And also, why would you want to be nice to people abusing your child? It just doesn't make any sense. I think you found somewhere else. I think neither you nor your wife read the darn handbook and realized that you were going to be paying 2 weeks. It's standard in every place that you leave your children, so make sure you know about it from now on. I am ruling in her favor in the amount of the $1,100 and the $40, both of which are covered in the handbook. That's $1,140. Verdicts for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
So the plaintiff does prevail. She's going to get $1,140 back from the defendant. Mr. Travis, let me ask you. You heard the judge explain she doesn't think you guys read the contract that carefully. Is she right?
We may have not, but through the text messages and the communications with her, we didn't think that there was going to be that kind of fee for 2 weeks. She didn't say anything to begin with when we told her that we were going to remove the children, so obviously we didn't think about it. So it might have been a mistake of ours to not read the contract fully, but the communication was understood that it was just going to be neutral, taken out.
Well, obviously you've learned a lesson the hard way. You've signed the contract and you got to live up to it, so you do owe her the extra money. All right, thank you very much, Ms.
Yes.
You feel better now?
I do. Thank you.
Does this happen very often in your situation?
No, this is my very first time dealing with this. It's you know, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. All right. So you think that it really wasn't they were so upset with the treatment of the children. It's the fact it was a money issue and they really hadn't read the contract. Would you
I think that they bit off more than they can chew. Child care is expensive. I'm not upset.
Yeah.
You know, but also, you know, it was there in the contract and they signed it. So I just felt I was owed the money.
Yes, they did. All right, very good. Indeed, you're right. They signed it and they have to live up to it. So you prevail. Good enough. All right, Harvey.
Doug, I want to make one point clear quickly, which is that if these kids were indeed mistreated, the defendant would absolutely be allowed to pull them from the daycare.
In Florida, if a tenant dies, what are the landlord's responsibilities with the tenant's personal belongings? How long is the landlord responsible to keep them safe?
Well, Florida pretty much follows what a lot of states follow when they're talking about, how long it takes to call something abandoned so that you can throw it out.
Right.
And it's usually a period of about a month.
Right.
But
or reasonable
time and, and depending on the circumstances. I mean, certainly with the death of a family member, what are the circumstances? Are the rest of that person's family elsewhere in another state? Is it going to take some time? So, no, don't get rid of it.
Right. But do you have to rent a storage unit somewhere and start shelling out money? I mean, it might cost you thousands
Possibly,
of dollars.
but I mean, if the tenant died and there's a security deposit, there's that month.
That's
still,
true. You've got that cushion.
Right, you've got that cushion.
Right?
So,
right.
if I was the landlord and a tenant died on me, I would very much want to be making contact with the family to express my condolences.
Right.
And then ask when
Your
would be a good time.
Yeah, your first instinct wouldn't be to just dump all the stuff out in the front yard.
No.
Of course.
No.
Yeah,
no,
I mean,
you need to hold on to it a reasonable amount of time before, because if you throw a bunch of stuff out and then it turns out the Hope Diamond was in there, there's gonna be a lawsuit.
Oh yeah, and you might be on the wrong end of it.
Right.
That'll do it for this session of the People's Court. See ya.